Okay, Apple time says 3:30. I'd like to call the meeting to order. And Jewel, if you could open the meeting with your statement.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, board, staff, and members of the public. After my statement, the chairman will open this meeting and explain the rules for this electronic meeting. Please keep your microphone on mute when you're not speaking. The technical support team may proactively mute participants if the microphone is picking up background noise. Board members should check to make sure the microphone is not muted before speaking. You may text me at any time at 540-336-3948 during the meeting if you need technical support, and an IT tech will call your cell phone to assist. I now turn the meeting over to Chairman Kobliss.
Thank you, Jewel. And I'm opening the meeting, and I would like our lawyer, Jonathan Rack, to go ahead and talk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In accordance with the Loudoun County Board of Supervisors Continuity of Government Ordinance and our electronic meeting policy, the board will be meeting today in an electronic meeting. In compliance with these special procedures, only action items necessary to continue operations of Loudoun Water and the discharge of its lawful purposes, duties, and responsibilities will be discussed during today's meeting. Reports and other meeting information are available on board docs. Just as a point of information, as the pandemic has been evolving, so have been the rules on electronic meetings up to as recently as last night's Loudoun County Board of Supervisors meeting, in which there is further authorization for us to continue meeting electronically as long as the local state of emergency exists, and that will remain in effect until the Board of Supervisors repeals it. So we have the ability, both today and meetings going forward in the future, including committee meetings, to meet electronically as we have done over the last months. Public notice and meeting access information was provided on the Loudoun Water website. A recording of the meeting will be made available also on the website, and I will turn it back over to the chairman.
Thanks, Jonathan. During presentations, staff will pause for questions and discussion. There will be an opportunity for discussion after each presentation, and we'll also monitor and recognize the hand raise feature. For each action item, a roll call voice vote will be taken by the board secretary. Opportunity for public comment was provided within the meeting notice. Any written comments were provided to the board secretary and will be read during the public speaker's agenda item. Okay, I'd like to open the meeting and have Jewel take roll call.
Yes, sir. Mr. Allen?
Here.
Mr. Bonfils? I believe you're on mute, sir.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Byers?
Here.
Mr. Campbell?
Here.
Mr. Kobliss?
Here.
Mr. Kelly?
Here.
Mr. Moody?
Here.
Ms. Sursakar?
Here.
And Mr. Sultan?
Here.
Unanimous present, sir. Thank you.
Great. Let's see. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
So moved. This is Marty. No second, Sean.
Okay, I think there was a second in there. Go
Yes.
ahead, Jewel.
Thank you. Mr. Bonfils?
Yes.
Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Moody?
Yes.
Ms. Sursakar?
Yes.
Mr. Sultan?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
And Mr. Kobliss?
Yes. All righty. We'll start with board member comments, and I'll go ahead and start. I just have a couple. Congratulations, and will be sorely missed. Roddy is definitely retiring on October 1st. Took him a long time to decide to leave, but I think now he's leaving, and I think I saw like huge fireworks and things going on over at his house the other night. So we all wish him a happy retirement. And I believe Roddy's younger than me, so it's kind of disappointing that he's retiring before me. Also, we had a very successful bond refunds, and our overall debt service is lower by almost 27 million. And factoring in bond premiums and the release of debt service reserve funds, the true debt service savings is almost $22 million. That's just amazing. Great job to all that was involved. Also, we were recognized as a utility of the future for 2021. Some of us may not have heard of it, but definitely the people in the water industry. This is a national program through the Water Environment Federation, and its partners are the National Association of Clean Water Agencies, the Water Research Foundation, the Water Reuse Association, the EPA, and the DOE. So this is a really big deal. We were recognized for our culture of embracing continual improvement and learning, and our commitment to our reclaimed water program and its advancement. Kudos to everybody that helped us win that award, or maybe it's not a lost win, but it's certainly something that we can be truly recognized for, and I appreciate everybody that put their work into this. Let's see, I'll start from the top and my little program here. So Terry, you have anything?
Yeah, I'll be brief, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to echo your comments about Roddy. I hope he has a great retirement. And I probably will run into him down at Vino 9. That's the little corner spot in Peonian Springs. And yeah, congratulations on the award. And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, great. Mr. Bonfils?
Thank you. I'd like to echo your comments and wish Roddy Godspeed on all his travels. But do come by our meetings from time to time. We'll really miss you, and we'll miss your expertise. That's all I have today. Thank you.
All right, Keith?
Yes, I'd like to echo your sentiments about the comments. In addition, I want to thank Jewel for sending out that article recognizing Loudoun Water. And this may be somewhat similar to what you mentioned, Mark, but Jewel sent an article about the sustainability practices of Loudoun Water recently. So I had a chance to read it, and for me, getting more educated. And when I speak to people, have more knowledge about what Loudoun Water does. So it's a great read and really well written. So I just want to thank Jewel for sending out articles such as that.
Okay, Marty?
I'd like to echo those comments and also wish Roddy Godspeed. He's been an absolute pleasure to work with. That's it.
Okay, Sean?
Thank you, Mark. Also, congratulations, Ronnie. Enjoy the retirement, relax, have a good time. You have some fun. Congratulations to Brian and his team on the refinance from one finance guy to another. That's absolutely phenomenal. Kept the authority in good financial health. So really appreciate that, and hope everybody had a good summer, had a good time. Thanks.
And Mr. Byers, I hope you're not driving, that you're just standing. Hope you're not the one driving. Somebody else is driving.
I'm definitely not the one driving. But yeah, Roddy really has just been a pleasure to work with over the years. We are definitely going to miss him. I wish him a great retirement. That's all I have.
Okay, Brent?
Yeah, I'll just echo all of your comments, and that's all I have to say. Roddy, enjoy retirement. Thank you for all your help to the organization.
Thank you all.
Angeline?
Just going to echo what all the previous board members have said. Roddy, enjoy your retirement. I'm sure your family is looking forward to that with you. So we're definitely going to miss you. But thank you for all your hard work, dedication, and effort towards Loudoun Water. That's all I got. Thank you.
Okay, now I believe I got all the board members. If I didn't, please speak up. I got lost in the middle of my going around in circles. Somehow they moved. So if somebody didn't talk, let me know. If not, Carla, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Just a couple things to update you on. We had planned to return to the office for those that were working remotely. We had planned to return right after Labor Day this week, actually, but we have postponed that to October 4th at the earliest. As some of you probably saw in the news today, the county last night mandated the vaccine for all county employees with the with weekly testing for those that choose not to get vaccinated. We are looking into that. We're coordinating with the county, and we will, be lockstep with them on their efforts to combat this virus. We're sitting at about a 62% vaccination rate, which is not good. So we will continue to do what's best for the entire organization and keep everyone safe. We still have our mask mandate in place for our public facilities. And so, just as a reminder to everyone that if you come into Loudon Water, you'll still be required to wear your mask, and we're doing everything we can to keep our employees and our customers safe. Couple reminders also about meetings. The Water Resources Committee meeting in October will focus on water supply, which will include the groundwater monitoring that came up in one of our previous meetings. And you should get the invite for that meeting tomorrow. We're looking at October 7th. I believe we're coordinating that with Chair Bonfils for his committee. But we will get that invite out most likely tomorrow. We are working on completing the comprehensive independent rate study that we commit to on a 3-year basis. And so the September 30th Finance Committee meeting, which we've moved it from the 23rd to the 30th, and you'll get an invite for that as well, will really be a rate workshop. So we encourage everyone who can to attend that meeting as we present the results of that study. We are wrapping up design and preparing to present the final cost estimate for Beaver Dam Reservoir Park, probably also at the October Water Resources Committee. I'll get confirmation on that. We're continuing our work in the Leesburg Joint Land Management area as well. And then finally, if I could give you some statistics, we have approved about 750 applications for the utility assistance funding and have applied more than $437,000 to outstanding balances. We currently have over 2,100 payment plans in place. And through August, we have 1,800 equivalent residential connections, primarily data center, 728 data center, 716 residential, and 356 non-residential. So that 1,800 puts us above our projection through August, which is about 1,470. Also, Saturday marks the 20th anniversary of the 9/11 tragedy, and we would ask that everyone mark that day with just a simple act of kindness to honor those that were lost that day. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Carla. Jewel, are there any members of the public that would like to talk or have anything to say?
No, sir, we do not have anyone signed up to speak.
Okay, can I have somebody approve the adoption of the agenda? Have a motion?
So moved. This is Marty.
I'll second it. This is Jim.
Any discussion? Okay, Jewel?
Thank you. Mr. Bonfils?
Yes.
Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Moody?
Yes.
Ms. Ursakar?
Yes.
Mr. Sultan?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
And Mr. Koblis.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, Marty, would you like to discuss the CIP committee meeting?
Okay. The first item that we had was the approval of a planning task order for Unison feasibility study. As most of you know, Loudoun County and Loudoun Water are involved in a program to address community water and wastewater need in unincorporated areas of Loudoun County. Loudoun Water serves in a project management role for technical analysis. The community of Unison has been approved to move into the feasibility study phase in the program. The study will involve a water solution evaluation, which includes upgrading existing systems, a communal water treatment facility, and wholesale purchase of water from a nearby municipal system. The study also includes a wastewater solution evaluation, which includes upgrading existing systems, communal wastewater treatment alternatives, and connection to a nearby existing communal wastewater treatment facility. Staff has selected Dewberry to perform the study for a negotiated fee of $140,500. The CIP committee recommended approval of the task order for $140,500 with a 5% contingency to be included in the board consent agenda. The second item that was, the second item that was taken up was approval of a planning task order for a community system water master plan. Loudoun Water owns and operates 5 community water systems. As these systems age and their service areas have evolved, periodic assessments are needed to evaluate their effectiveness and reliability to meet current and future service level goals. Staff selected Hazen to perform this work based upon their previous community system work and the fact that they possess a strong understanding of Loudoun Water's community systems and an approach to planning. Staff negotiated a task order for $221,000. The CIP committee recommended approval for a task order for $221,000 with a 5% contingency to be included on the board's consent agenda. This was followed by a capital construction quarterly report and capital spending monthly. Both are in good shape. That's all I have.
Thank you, Marty. Finance Committee, Terry?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The first 2 action items on our agenda were fairly administerial, and both are on consent agenda today. The first item was proposed changes to the procurement policy. Our procurement policy must be in accordance with the Code of Virginia, and more specifically, the Virginia Public Procurement Act. They made a change this year that simply states if the responsible public entity rejects a proposal initiated by a private entity that purports to develop specific cost savings, that the public entity shall specify the basis for the rejection. So we took this language and just inserted it into our policy. So it's fairly straightforward. That's on consent. The second item was, which is also on consent, is the approval of financing terms and conditions for connections of certain customers in Broad Run Farms. As you know, the Hidden Lane landfill is there. That's an EPA super site. The county is sponsoring a separate project to install and connect the remaining lots to the public water system. We have obviously been involved in that. The county is covering all the water mains and service lines, but the customers in that community who choose to connect will be required to pay an availability charge, as well as the connection from the meter to their home. So if customers in that area wish to finance that expense, Loudoun Water has proposing 2 options. Option one is 12 months at no interest, and option 2 is a repayment of the fees over a 36-month period, financed using the 20-year municipal bond rate, which is, I think, around 2%. Keep in mind that these are the same terms that we offered the Tall Oaks project a few years ago. This is on consent, and the Finance Committee has approved it. The next item was an information item. It was an update on our asset management program. The program is continuing to evolve as Loudoun Water shifts from primarily growth-driven organization to a more balanced, mature utility. We were last updated in 2019. And keep in mind that, we're looking at 100 years forward, and specifically, we're looking at our linear assets as well as our facilities and support assets. So it's a big project. And some of the highlights of the presentation were the management of our assets through preventative and predictive programs. Examples of that are hydrant and sewer flushing, as well as acoustic leak detection and corrosion monitoring. One of the other highlights was developing a system that identifies and prioritizes our R&R needs, and this is primarily through asset assessments, as well as creating an asset risk database. One of the other highlights was how Loudon Water is evolving to support the balance of growth versus R&R needs. It's tricky. It's kind of a dance that you have to play over a period of time. And then the last thing was how the asset management supports sustainable rate planning. The last thing we want to do is get caught behind the curve and have to play catch up if we have a lot of assets that have deteriorated, and we haven't really anticipated that. So a lot of utilities get into trouble, and I think it's great that we're looking at this and we're planning for the future, even though we'll all be dead by the time a lot of this is. But it's really forward thinking, and it was exciting. The Finance Committee was very excited about it. The next thing, we segued into a mid-year budget results. In preparing the mid-year review, staff evaluates operating revenues and expenses, and then projects out how we're doing for the end of the year. As expected, operating revenues are about 99% of budgeted projections, and operating expenses are about 100%. So we're right on plan for the mid-year review. Carla updated you on the ERCs, so we're ahead. We're way ahead of the ball game there. The next item was a monthly financial summary for July. The operating revenues are slightly below year-to-date forecast. Non-operating revenues, of course, with ERCs are substantially above year-to-date forecast. And then operating and non-operating expenses are slightly below. In July, we had total cash equivalents and investments of $254 million, with a weighted average yield of 0.67, so still extremely low interest rates. That's all I have, but in honor of Hobie Mitchell, I would like to mention that our meeting went 2 minutes longer than the CIP meeting. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All righty. Well, with that, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Or the consent items?
So moved. This is Marty.
Right.
Second, Jim Bonfils.
Is there any discussion? Okay, Jewel, roll call.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bonfils?
Yes.
Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Moody?
Yes.
Ms. Ursakar?
Yes.
Mr. Sultan?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
And Mr. Koblis?
Yes.
Thank you.
So it looks like we have one item on the action agenda, and this basically is able to change our meeting. Carla, this is all yours.
Well, very quickly, your November board meeting falls on Veterans Day, federal holiday. So we are recommending that you move your November 2021 board meeting to Wednesday, November 10th. And we will post accordingly if that is approved.
I would be happy to make that motion.
This is Angeline. I'll second that.
Any discussion? Okay, go ahead and roll call. Jewel?
Thank you. Mr. Bonfils?
I vote yes.
Mr. Byers?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yes.
Mr. Kelly?
Yes.
Mr. Moody?
Yes.
Ms. Ursakar?
Yes.
Mr. Sultan?
Yes.
Mr. Allen?
Yes.
And Mr. Koblis?
Yes.
Thank you.
So there isn't any new business, and there isn't any informational items. There's a few monthly reports that you may have reviewed. If there's anything of importance, Brian, do you want to add anything?
I'm happy to answer any questions that anyone may have.
Okay. It looks like Alton has moved the management monthly to Jessica. Jessica, is there anything significant in the report?
Mr. Chairman, if I may, I wanted to just say a few words on that transition. And just that Jessica, she serves currently as our Director of Water Operations. She's going to obviously be taking over this report. I will say it is a team effort, as you will come to learn with the presentation we're planning to give the Water Resources Committee early next month. But Jessica's been with us for 3 years now. She joined right around the time we were starting up Trap Rock, and so that was great timing. And it's been excellent leadership for the department and bringing that plant online. And just a little further background on Jessica, she came to us from Black & Veatch, and prior to that, she held operations leadership positions with DC Water and Contra Costa Water District in California. So again, it's a team effort, and we're all here to support that report. But I just wanted to say a few words to that. And then in terms of the reports for July and August, we went into a dry stretch there through July and mid-August, and then things have all returned to normal status with all of the drought indicators here of late. So if there are any other questions, I'd be happy to take them.
Not a question, Alton, but thank you. Please offer my congratulations and a huge gratitude to Jessica and her team for preparing that report.
Thank you very much.
And to you too. I didn't want to forget you in the process.
Thank you.
Okay, Hwei, anything significant in the water and sewer agreements?
No, there's nothing significant, but I'm here to answer any questions you might have.
All righty, thank you. Quarterly reports. Tom, anything significant in the BOAs?
No, nothing significant, Mr. Chairman.
Any questions from the board? Okay, the capital construction report by Brian. Any questions for Brian on that report? Moving right along.
Okay.
Speaking of Hobie not being in here, there would have been about 50 questions. All right, Hwei.
In honor of Hobie, I'll ask one.
All right, there you go. Go ahead, Terry.
The Goose Creek Waterline crossing, I noticed the crane was gone today. Is that done?
No, the Goose Creek crossing, the pipe itself is across the reservoir, and they've connected to the raw water transmission main on the one side, but they have not completed the connection on the other side. So their need for the crane is no longer there, but they are still working on the project.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Hwei, anything significant in the land development activity report?
No, sir. Here to answer any questions.
Alton, anything in the operations and maintenance quarterly report?
Nothing major, but I'm happy to answer any questions.
And Tom, the safety report is always excellent and continues to be. And that's really a testimony to operations supervisors teaching everybody how to stay safe. So congratulations again.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Jonathan Rack, is there any closed meeting items?
No, sir. Nothing from me.
Okay, well, it looks like we're ending, and I just want to comment on our legal attorney's shirt today. Wow. Not the conservative Jonathan Rack that I've been used to for the past 12 years.
Thank you for noticing, Mr. Chairman. I actually intended to go home and change my shirt before this meeting, but the power went out, so I needed to stay here in the office to participate in the meeting. So that's my excuse.
All right, well, if there's not anything else, if I could have a motion to adjourn in a half an hour meeting, I can't believe it. Can I entertain a motion to adjourn?
This is Keith.
So
So
moved.
moved.
All right, and the second,
The second, Marty.
any discussion? Hearing none. Jewel, last roll call?
Yes, Mr. Bonfils,
Yes.
Mr. Byers,
Yes.
Mr. Campbell,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Moody,
Yes.
Ms. Sursakar,
Yes.
Mr. Sultan,
Yes.
Mr. Allen,
Yes.
and Mr. Koblis.
Yes, okay, everybody, be safe out there and stay healthy.
Likewise
Bye,
to you,
everyone.
Mark.
All right.
See you guys.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.